This is a model of a Scania R440 truck and trailer combination. It's in the colours of Stam Transport of Holland, and they've been in business since 1974. The packaging is in the normal style of WSI truck models, so there's no information about the real truck or the livery. The lid is factory sealed, and when you cut the tapes you can get the two parts of the model out, and that's the trailer and the Scania truck. There are no other parts or assembly to do because the model is complete out of the box. But there is one more item of packaging, which is some tape that secures the pin on the towing bar. The underside of the Scania truck has a detailed chassis. There's an exhaust system at the front and a tailgate system at the back. The nice tyres are mounted on decent wheels which have the red centres of the real truck. The Scania top-line cab is rendered very well with good lights and mirrors. The distinctive grille looks good and there's a realistic number plate. One particularly good aspect is the really sharp graphics on the cab. Looking underneath the cab, there's a detailed engine with some coloured components. One of the best details is the Frigo Rock refrigeration equipment. One box has a fine mesh grille and the fans are visible behind it. Behind the cab, the box is metal and it has some very crisp graphics applied. Another part of the model that looks really good is the rear doors, where all of the bolts and hinges are highlighted. The trailer is of the same standard as the truck and it includes a spare wheel holder underneath. At the front of the trailer, the towing bar has got coiled air lines attached. And on the side there's another great Frigo block equipment box. The trailer box is also metal with more matching sharp graphics. The doors on the trailer are even more detailed than those on the truck, with more great use of graphics and paint. It's out onto the test track with the Scania, and the first thing you notice is that the steering is quite loose on this model. That's quite unusual, but in fact the steering on this truck is quite good. It does have a good range of movement, so it's possible to pose it in interesting ways. Moving to the rear, the wheels are joined onto common axles, and there is sprung movement available on the rearmost axle. The reason for this is that it can be clipped out of service when the truck is empty, and it therefore saves on tyre wear. This feature is modelled well by WSI because when you push the truck along with the axle raised, the rear wheel doesn't turn. The other feature you always expect to see on a WSI model is a tilting cab, and this one obliges nicely. It tilts forward and stays tilted and lets you see the engine underneath. Sometimes when you're not in the lead you have to stare at the behind of the person in front, and I guess that's how it is for this trailer. But it's certainly not second class compared to the truck because it's a nice heavy model, and it's got working suspension on the rear axle, and the front axle can also be clipped up out of service just like the one on the truck. The trailer's also got a feature that any guy would want, and that's an extending tow bar. It is secured in position by a small steel pin, and a number of different extensions are possible. For this particular model it works well enough with the tow bar fully retracted. Unfortunately at CranesEtcTV our staff sometimes struggle with even the simplest operation of putting a pin through a hole. With the tow bar all set, we can now join up the truck and trailer. The towing hitch on the truck is just soft plastic, so you just have to push in the eye of the tow bar into that towing hitch. It's probably not an easy thing to do if you've had too much to drink, but once it's joined up it all works pretty well. In summary, this is a superior commercial vehicle model from WSI. Its high metal content gives it a quality feel, and the Stam Transport graphics are attractive. If you like this sort of truck, then this is an outstanding example.